Man, start that over. Yo, first off, it's the Prism Black Podcast. Clap it up. Nah, come on, man. Like we need.
I feel relaxed.
I'm dog ass tired, but I'm pushing through. Like we need some energy in this mug.
I had 2 Red Bulls, so I'm kind of probably not gonna
go.
After I'm about to drink a 3rd one, so.
After this,
I got.
You better be on Call of Duty all night, ain't you?
Nah, I was on Call of Duty earlier, so I got some.
Did you ever finish Ghost of Tsushima?
No, I've never even started it because I've been working.
Bro, that game was so hard. I started it and I think I got the first stance and then just stopped. I started that Avengers and just started working my damn self. So I don't think I've picked up the sticks in about 6-7 months.
Yeah, I just be sprinkling video games here and there whenever like my hands get tired from like working. So like, let me go and play the game for a little bit, and I go from there. But
Carl, what's good with your family?
Not too much, man. Just ready to get to these topics. Once again, I am Carl Tomlinson, aka Chaos Black, and I'm happy to be here with you all.
Well, I'm glad you're here too, Carl.
It's good to have you around, old sport.
What else? How else would we go on without your delightful face and humor? But yeah, what you smiling at, dog? Something funny?
Yeah, nigga, but I don't even have the energy to even throw jokes. Nah, I got a personal chat going with some of the homies, and like I'm exhausted on my roast tips. Like bro, I swear all these cats like niggas will roast all day for niggas, bro. Niggas will hop in the chat and just roast all damn day, and it's exhausting, man.
Not really. You just gotta say your mama.
Is your mama still a thing for real, bro?
Yeah, if you want it to be, it's roasting, dog.
Last I recall, your mama was fighting words, and these days, little niggas shooting. So I mean,
I don't think your friend will shoot you because you say your mama.
Oh, we talking about friends, okay?
Yeah, I ain't talking about random people.
I was like, dog, these days, these little niggas. But yo, a lot's happened in the past week.
Yeah, I watched a lot of shit in the past week too. So,
Sure, do tell, friend. What have you been watching?
Well, this week I didn't watch a lot of anime. I watched some old episodes of My Hero since my wife kind of got lost on some of it. So I watched some old episodes of that. I watched the Tomorrow War. I watched Black Widow, of course. And I watched a B League horror movie. But
what was the B League horror?
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. I watch horror movies more than I watch anything. So like,
not worth a mention.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right, so random. I got a random question, though.
What's up?
So we've all seen the Tomorrow War, right?
Yeah. Well, I will. Have you seen it, right?
Yeah, I watched Tomorrow War. Also, I did a little horror binging myself, but we'll circle back to that. Go ahead, Carl.
So is Chris Pratt an action star now?
He's certainly walking the line.
I feel like he's been one.
Okay.
I think he's a comedic action star like Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, so
well, I mean,
when you play,
what defines action star?
Well, okay, really? So that was my second question. Great question, because
he ain't like Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne
Johnson is like
he is action star.
I only do action, and
No diss to Pratt. Love Pratt though.
Okay, you know that was my second question. So is it easier now to become an action star?
I don't know. I don't think about easier. I just think that like if you if some roles you just fit good in, like, hey, I don't think, let me say who's somebody who I don't think would be a good action star. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think Liam Neeson's a really good action star. Like, I don't really like his movies as an action star. It's like, it's not believable. Like all the jump cuts when they do him running and stuff like that.
I will say that.
It's not believable.
Agreeing with you, not particularly against Liam, but like these days, when you say it's easier, I mean, a lot of movies use CGI, and depending on the budget, it depends on how good that CGI is. Like, as we get into Black Widow, we'll talk about that. But like, a lot of what we watch is not real. Like, a lot of that is not there. It's just a green screen, and they brushed it over and made it so. Okay. I mean, how much action is really in these movies these days?
So the reason why I thought of like these questions is because like I remember Like, I remember when Sylvester Stallone was doing the Expendables, trying to get together, like a lot of action stars or whatnot. But like, when you really think about it, there's no way to get like all the biggest action stars on like one film. Like, because when you think about it, like people who you don't really even realize are action stars are bona fide action stars. Like Denzel Washington, if you can make the argument, he's an action star. Like when you look at like the movies he's done, the past movies he's done, you can make. I mean, Keanu Reeves, action star.
Well, what exactly defines action star?
If the majority of your movies are action movies,
and you kill that stuff. I mean,
I don't know if the majority of Denzel's are action movies. He's got a lot of movies.
But,
okay, so I wouldn't say he's not an action star. I wouldn't take that away from him. I'm just saying. Most of his movies, I mean, Denzel's got a lot of movies.
Okay, but look at his last couple of movies, like the Equalizer movies.
That's two.
Okay,
yeah.
but then you.
But then also Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
And there was, I know, but like that's kind of like the exception. If you look at a lot of his movies, he plays like cops.
No, when he collabs with Spike Lee, he has definitely kept that detective theme, particularly. He has done that a lot and played some extra out of that. Is he an action star or
American
a star who has a high amount of action movies? Biography, not action. That's a biography. That's a Frank Lewis.
But I know, but like, is Frank Lucas's life not an action movie?
So I don't know.
I would, yeah. If you write Frank Lucas out and
because when we say action kind of glory, like that's not quite like that exciting. Like when I think action, I think Last Action Hero. Like not really believe like how back in the day they did their own stunts. Die Hard. Like these are just
Safe House. Hold on, but like you got.
Yeah, but he's got a roster, but like he's never had a summer blockbuster. That's what defines action star to me. When you've got that summer blockbuster that's like and consistently like Will Smith did that. We knew for a period of time, at least for a decade, or at least half of a decade, you could always count on the Will Smith summer blockbuster to hit theaters. And Keanu's been on that train too. I can't name a Denzel summer blockbuster that was like action riddled, packed like full throttle. See Denzel saving the world.
Okay,
I mean,
but you don't have one of those.
Yeah, but you've seen Denzel solve a crime or two.
I've seen him solve some crime. He's a crime-solving motherfucker, dog.
Man on Fire. When you see Denzel let loose all absolute hell.
Yeah, he'll beam some people up, but he's not destroying no comet that's about to strike Earth.
So I mean, I hear what you're saying, like, but like, okay, so you think about Crimson Tide.
Dude, what was that? 94? Bro, I have not seen that movie. I didn't see that movie then. I ain't seen that movie now.
Wait, did Denzel save the world in Crimson Tide?
Crimson Tide was like a nuclear.
Yes, he did save the world in Crimson Tide.
Bro, I didn't even know he was. I don't even remember. Like you pulled that out your ass, boy. But was that a summer blockbuster?
I don't know when it came out. I have to look at.
Let's Google. We got it
up. Because if Denzel got a summer blockbuster, I'm about to give my boy his props. That's my boy.
1995. Tony Scott takes place.
Does it say action thriller or does it say action blockbuster?
Turmoil in the Russian Federation. Focus on Clash of Wills. Let's see. Post-Soviet Russia, Civil War erupts. Let's see. Filming took place in 94. 18 million in the box office. When did it release though?
I think they said 94.
The weekend. No, like when, like what season?
Oh.
Let's see, theaters, Crimson Tide.
Just type in an initial release date, and it'll tell you when it came out.
Yeah, gotcha. Hold up, I'm Google. May 12th, 1995.
Hey,
okay, so that's a summer.
Hold on,
but was that a blockbuster? 18.6 million?
Hold on, but here's the thing though. What you're missing about Denzel, you're missing the Magnificent Seven. Chris Pratt was in that as well. You're missing the Book of Eli. You're missing like Training Day.
Training Day wasn't action. Training Day was what? Book of Eli. Hey, no, you got
some of these crime movies aren't necessarily they have action, but like if it's a detective crime thriller or less, I'm not sure if I call that an action film. I would
give Book of Eli the action. Action.
Because you gotta have explosions, bay explosions, and shit
Book,
like that.
all right.
So so I won't give you Training Day as action, but the Book of Eli, Man on Fire, The Equalizers, Deja Vu, Magnificent Seven, what Inside Man.
Inside Man was more of a detective thriller. Inside Man, if I recall, that was the bank heist. That had action, but that's not an action movie. I mean, come on, you're throwing anything that's action is just action like that. Movies have action doesn't make it an action movie.
Two Guns, Glory.
Two Guns was an action movie. I'll give you that.
Glory.
Civil War movie. That's a war movie, not an action movie. No. It's not. War movies, it's not the same like an action movie.
You telling me Saving Private Ryan is not an action movie?
It has action, but it is a war movie, classified as a war movie. That's a different thing. No, for real, Carl. That's two different things. It's got some action in it, but action movie is not the same as war movie.
Banks. What's up? Thanks. Is Saving Private Ryan an action movie?
No, it's a war movie, dude. It's not the same when you say action movie.
Is it a historical war movie, or is it like?
You say is it an action movie? It's a movie that has action in it, but it is not an action movie. Like it's a war movie.
Yeah, it's not like Speed or Die Hard.
It's not, man. You're just throwing. If it's got action, it's not.
There's more violence in that movie than most action movies.
That doesn't change the fact that it's not like typically. Here's the thing: an action movie is particularly summer blockbusters. A lot of those are rated PG-13. You've got action movies that are all rated R, but a lot of your summer blockbusters, a startling tag that comes with that is PG-13 because that's your summer blockbuster that appeals to all audiences. These movies have action, no doubt, but like I would not call Glory an action movie. That's a war movie.
I disagree. I feel like they're very much so action movies, but we'll just have to agree to disagree on that.
Terminator 2 and Glory are not the same thing. And Terminator 2 is very much an action movie.
Wait a minute, but hold on. But I never said they were the same thing. But there are some action movies that don't have as much violence and action that Saving Private Ryan or
I think it's
movies in.
Again, I think you're blurring the line a little bit on that though, fam. Like just because a movie has action doesn't mean it's an action movie.
Yeah, because I feel the way about horror movies. Like psychological thrillers are not horror movies to me, but
yeah, I wouldn't call some of these like jump scare PG-13s horror, but they get billed as horror. There's subgenres too, but action movie typically there's a definition with that. War movie is not it's got a lot of action in it, but that's not something you would glorify, not war. those are action movies are meant to be enjoyed.
What does it say underneath it? What genre is it categorized as?
Which one?
Oh, I'm looking at Denzel's I'm looking at his but like they've got popular movies, thrillers, action movies, then crime movies, and they've got his movies categorized. So his action movies are Book of Eli, Deja Vu, Safe House, Courage of Fire, Crimson Tide, Pale Hand 1, 2, 3, Equalizer, Man on Fire, Virtuosity, Unstoppable, Two Guns, Mag 7.
So he is an action star.
Yeah, he's
a diverse actor with a lot of. He's a
crime movies, Out of Time, star. American Gangster, Training Day, Man on Fire, also a crime movie. Inside Man, Devil in a Blue Dress, Roman J. Israel, Little Things, Bone Collector.
Oh, that was my movie, bro.
That was solid. Let's see what they say about Glory. Civil War. Let's just type in what Bout says.
Wait, are we looking for
historical war drama film directed by Edward Zwick about the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, the Union Army's first African historical war drama film?
Yeah, so it's a war drama.
But you could sub-bill it, like not to say Carl's wrong, you could sub-bill some action, but I just wouldn't. When you say action movie, looking at the comparison, it's even listed under some of his action and historical dramas, like it's broken up under these categories, but Glory ain't the same as Two Guns. Man on Fire, Equalizer. Like,
I didn't say
He didn't say Glory was the same as
no, but it's just when you say it's an action movie, it's like these are action movies. When you say group it and say it is an action movie definitively, and then it's like that's not the same thing.
I mean, there's not one way to do an action movie though. That's the thing. That's what I'm basically saying.
We didn't say there was.
I know, but
we're sticking to the. I'm sticking to the primary. It's war drama, like action.
I know, but like when I said like that's an action movie, you said no, it's not classical. I said, well, there's more to.
No, I said I wouldn't classify that because it's a war film first. Like, and to consider this when we talk action, usually it's something to be excited about. These true war stories, even though they're interesting to see and stuff, it's not often something that you want. Like we're in a time. Are the last of the Doughboys dead? Last of the World War II vets? Are there still any living?
I don't know.
Yeah, like for some of them saying that it's action. No, that's my friends died. Like I fought that, so it's just I wouldn't consider a war film an action movie the same way I would build a Terminator 2 or Transformers. But to each his own. Carl ain't hearing it.
Carl's like, no.
Carl want to see Transformers pop up in glory.
Bumblebee doing backstrokes in the pool.
Yeah, in one of them Transformers, they were there in the Civil War. And that last one with Mark Wahlberg, there was some pictures. They was back in the day, something.
But yeah.
All right. So Denzel's an action star then? Denzel's an icon.
Yeah, I think Denzel's like a well-rounded superstar.
Yeah, he's
like,
an icon for sure. Because in the same breath, now you got me wondering if we gonna say Denzel is a action star, what about Lawrence Fishburne?
Dude, he was in The Matrix. Yes, he's an action star.
Boys in the Hood.
He was in The Matrix and John Wick.
If we follow with Carl, Boys in the Hood, there's some action in that, even though it's not an action movie.
No, look, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that to the Boys in the Hood.
I wouldn't say there's enough action in Boys in the Hood.
Bro, Lawrence Fishburne was in John Wick. And
you know what? Let's pull up Lawrence Fishburne. Let's see what he's done.
We don't have to. He's an action star.
Predator, The Matrix.
Well-rounded.
Oh, he was in Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, he was in the Predator movie.
That man was eating folks.
Oh, actually, not a lot of action movies for Lawrence Fishburne. Predator, Assault Precinct 16, Running with the Devil.
Yo, Assault on Precinct 13. I remember that movie.
The John Wicks, The Matrix, Deep Cover.
Wasn't he? He played Bumpy Johnson.
He did play Bumpy Johnson. Ant-Man and Fantastic Four. He was the voice of the Silver Surfer.
I thought his portrayal of Bumpy Johnson was pretty good.
I have to go back and watch that Hoodlum movie. It was a solid movie. But
damn, that's who he was supposed to be. I watched that when I was in like second, third grade. I didn't know who. I just watched it because it was, But
I think that's a hood classic, an underrated hood classic.
I would say Hoodlum's a classic. Period. It's listed as a top gangster film. One of them. I mean, it's not up there with the Godfather trilogy in terms of film, but I would say that was well received all around.
So
was Hoodlum just a black thing? Am I wrong in that?
I ain't never asked nobody.
I thought it was kind of like I thought everybody kind of knew.
Well, I just say when I say like it's a hood classic, I just mean like most black people that I know they know about Hoodlum, but like I wouldn't assume a lot of white people know about it.
Yeah, I don't hear a lot of
Tim Roth, Andy Garcia. That had an all-star cast for the time. I think Andy Garcia portrayed Lucky Luciano. No, one of them was Lucky Luciano, and one was Meyer Lansky. Let's check. Fishburne definitely got some action movies. Man of Steel, Fled, Batman vs Superman, Biker Boys, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Why you say Biker Boys like that, dog?
I forgot about that movie, bro.
Why you had to say it like that, dog?
That was one of them. I don't want to say corny, but like, remember Crossover? Remember when Elmo was popping and then they just out of nowhere did a movie? It was just like Biker Boys.
That was before Anthony Mackie was Captain America.
And there was another one with a dude from
Sweetness.
Rollerball or something that LL Cool J was in it.
Oh.
Rollerblade, Rollerball, some shit.
Oh yeah, I remember
It was. I saw it in theaters.
There's a lot of bad movies going around 2000s, bro. A lot of bad movies.
They was giving out bags, son.
Giving out,
bags.
hey, we want you to play a basketball player who races cars. But on the weekend, he take care of his adopted mother.
Man, bro, that sounds like the perfect 90s plot device.
Yeah,
I'd say Lawrence Fishburne.
Stars.
Anyway.
Running away, it's the living, it's hot, hot. Running away, it's the living, it's hot, hot.
Zoom was not showing us love, dude. We was rolling.
15 a month.
All right, so just to recap where we got cut off, welcome back, y'all. We back in this thing. So we agree that I guess are we calling Denzel action and Lawrence Fishburne action stars? Yeah, that's where we at. We're leaving that there.
Certified. They got some stars.
Yes. Denzel's an action star, and since we are talking about movies, I know my man Murphy's Law wanted to talk about Black Widow. Just came out, y'all. Let's say it again. Black Widow just came out. And I'm gonna let my spoilers. Very true. I'm gonna let my homeboys go first. What were you guys' thoughts on the movie?
I'm gonna go first. I liked it. I did like it. I'm gonna be real. When I first heard a Black Widow movie was coming out, I was like, Basura, throw it in the trash. Anybody trying to see that? I was like, for real, anybody trying to see that? Because they gonna try to talk, because, bro, like, I honestly thought it was not gonna be good, because I was like, coming off the other movies where you see all the people with powers, you was like, what is she gonna do? Because I thought that was gonna be on some Suicide Squad stuff.
We love Punisher Warzone together.
I know. Let me talk, bro. Dang.
Go ahead, finish it. Go ahead.
I thought that was gonna be on some Suicide Squad where this, this regular ass person with no powers is gonna be out here fighting some, A-tier hero, and she was just gonna slap the A-tier hero down regardless of what kind of powers they had. But they turned it into a, real, like, a real human type thing. Like, she didn't have powers, but neither did her main villain. So it wasn't like no powering up pew pew. It was just like on some, I can do stuff better than you, so I'm gonna do it type stuff. Like, I'm the best at what I do, and I'm gonna show you I'm the best at what I do, whether it be spying or shooting or fighting. And that's kind of how her villain was too. It's just like, fisticuffs. It wasn't I ain't got no powers. I mean, I got powers, but not like, I'm not shooting laser beams out my face. And, I ain't turning people into zombies and mind controlling them and stuff like that. Like on Suicide Squad. No offense to Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn shouldn't have killed the villain that was at the end of Suicide Squad. This motherfucker turned the whole city into zombies. Harley Quinn is not beating that. She's gonna be a zombie like everybody else. And I thought that's
neither was Diablo.
Yeah,
like nobody in the Suicide Squad was beating that truthfully.
And it's like, that's what I thought they was gonna do with this. But
Killer Croc them all.
Once I started seeing the trailers and I started seeing what they was gonna do with it, I was like, yo. So like when it actually was time to come out, I was super hyped about it to go see it. But yeah, I liked the movie. I mean, it had some things in the movie I was kind of like, yeah, but overall, like I liked the movie. Oh, excuse me, that was gross. But
cover your mouth, boy.
I did. Did you not see me? I got manners. God. But
nasty ass.
Overall, I like the movie. So I think it should have came out before the phase ended, like before Thanos and all that. I know they had plans to, but it would have fit way better if it would have came out before Endgame. But yeah, I liked it.
Will?
Total opposite. I went into Black Widow expecting that to be pretty legit. Marvel had not disappointed me yet. If we're gonna remove that horrible first Hulk movie, and that first Punisher movie, even though it wasn't terrible.
That wasn't MCU.
Did you say horrible?
It wasn't MCU, was it?
The first Hulk movie, the one Ang Lee directed.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Talking about Eric Banner, right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that one was
the one where he got into a tussle with those three puppies. Yeah, that was horrible. That was garbage.
That was Universal though. That was Universal.
That was
Yeah, that wasn't an MCU thing, but it's just I can't forget that it exists.
I thought you was talking about Edward Norton Hulk.
Nah, that was Liddy. But the first Punisher I didn't think was terrible, but it's just Warzone was definitely a step up. So I was kind of feeling like, all right, Marvel knows what they're doing with Powers. And I don't know if anybody remembers there was an animated Avengers Confidential movie where her and Punisher teamed up, and that really opened my eyes. All right, Black Widow can do some things. Like she's got an enhanced skill set. So I was looking forward to what they did with the movie. Spot on with a lot of the statements. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed giving Widow more of a personal, throughout the entirety of the entire Infinity Saga. I really didn't attach to Black Widow, and I didn't realize how much I wasn't attached to her as a character. Even though she's there, she supports, she's a part of the team, she's a viable asset on the team. I didn't have the same personal connection. Like, it was definitely sad when, the sacrifice in Infinity War Endgame, anybody hasn't seen, when she sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone. But seeing this movie kind of gave me a little bit more of a connection to her as a character. It kind of opened the door. It was just like, oh shit. A little bit darker than what I previously expected from some Marvel, because when they pull you out of the whole superhero thing, there's no flying around, no high-tech suits of armor. There's not. She's really just an assassin. And like, that world's very nasty. It's very dark. We finally get some answers, spoilers, to what happened in Budapest. That itself was, pretty brutal. People died. So yeah, when you think about how they hold off, like that whole thing, and how they tied that together, and obviously at the end, we know what happens, how that plays out. It was a solid movie, full of some reflection, and I only wish that we could get another more ScarJo, but I think after this, we can say with confidence she is definitively done with Natasha Romanoff for now, pending they don't do any retconning with What If, which we'll see. That remains to be seen. But overall, I enjoyed it. What was your take, Carl?
So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think it was terrible, but I don't think it was like anything special. I think it was just okay. Now, my reasoning for that is the backstory about her in the MCU version of her character. I thought was very good. That part of the storytelling was good. I like how they gave, and like Will said, spoiler alerts, I like how they gave Red Guardian powers, which wasn't, that's not how his comic book version works. But then again, I didn't like how they did Taskmaster. So it's not so much that they changed around like the genders or whatnot because for those who don't know, in the comic book, Taskmaster is a man. In the movie, he's played by a woman. The character is not he, but the character is played by a woman. I don't really have an issue with that. I kind of have an issue with like Taskmaster. He talks to you, like I won't. It's not like some Deadpool type talking trash to you, whatnot. But I mean, that's a part of like his skill set in the sense, but while he's copying like all your moves and everything, I mean, is to engage with you in like conversation, and like this version of the character is very stoic and doesn't say anything like at all. And but what I will say, one thing I did like about the movie. So I didn't come in with any expectations. What I did know from the previews is that Taskmaster was going to be involved, and that his character has somehow taken control of like the widows from like the previews. I didn't like, you find out like how they're doing that in the movie. But like Will just said, you find out what happens in Budapest, and like one of like, long story short, Black Widow's faced where with the choice of get rid of the person who's responsible for the Red Room, and pretty much like dehumanizing like all these women and turning them into like killers.
Trafficking.
And
Let's not forget that part.
turning them into killers and like stopping them from being able to reproduce and like with their female organs and like all these other things. And she's faced with a decision of like, get rid of this man, but I have to kill a child to do that. And I'm not gonna lie, this may sound heartless, but like in situations like that in times of war, I mean, if taking a piece like that off the board means like you saved like that many lives or whatnot, you almost gotta take it. I actually don't blame her for doing it.
Have you ever had to make a decision like that?
No, but I will say like if like take for instance in the situation that we just mentioned, if I know like the child, then I'm more than likely less inclined to do it. I'm not gonna do it. But if I don't know him, if it means like if like this one life means, if this one life, unfortunately, losing this one life means like you save like five digits or six digits or six-figure numbers of people, I mean, you gotta do it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna weigh in on that because I hope I'm never in a situation to have to make a call like that. Because I think in Widow's particular situation, she was it wasn't the fact that the kid happened to be there. I think she was guilty about the fact that she knew the kid was going to be there. And it was essentially premeditated, was her confession. She had planned on killing the kid because that was the verification that he was going to be there. And she knew that ahead of time that if the kid was there, it was likely he was there. So I think that was her dilemma, like that she, with intent, very much knew that setup was going to end up resulting directly in the death of a child.
Dude, I'm gonna say,
but
like, I'm gonna say,
yeah, she's also an assassin, so it's just, that's
I am doing it.
That's the thing. But I'm not gonna weigh in on hypothetically killing kids, so that's not me.
Hey man.
But y'all have fun with that.
I mean,
yeah, y'all go ahead. You said it, Carl. You
I'm just saying, you can't paint it like that. After we just got through talking about all these war movies or whatnot, like in war, you make decisions like that all the time.
I've never been in overseas. I didn't go fight. And yes, you do, but soldiers suffer from PTSD as a result of that. So I have a family full of them. So yeah, those decisions aren't easy, and we see Widow deal with that a lot. So. Y'all have. Don't let me be a Debbie Downer. It's just that's exactly what it is.
Agree. There's nothing for us to talk about. Me and Banks agree.
Look, I'm pretty sure there's worse things that she's done as an assassin. Like she's probably killed hundreds of people. Like after a certain amount of people, my remorse for killing people is gone. So if I am going to kill,
how many people have you killed?
If I'm an assassin?
No, I'm just saying. I'm about like, how many people have you killed? Now you said that like y'all are casually talking like. This is interesting. Go ahead, keep going.
Because she's an assassin. That she's like that's the whole. But that's part of the thing I didn't like about the movie. It's like she's heartless, but then when it comes to the kids, she's not heartless. Like she's a heartless trained assassin because the Red Room made her a heartless trained killed assassin. So like she's supposed to be heartless. So that's part of her character. So like.
There's a such thing as honor amongst things. I mean, I guess even killers have the lines they don't cross.
There's a difference. She's a trained. Heartless, ruthless.
Well, don't get hung up on the expression itself. What I'm drawing from that is even she has her own personal lines. Yeah, she's probably killed a ton of people. However,
yeah, she
probably never killed a kid directly, or had to look at a kid that she was murdering. So she had to face her own demons in that sense, and that's tough. That's tough for a lot of people.
I mean,
I'll say this.
A little different.
The ending kind of threw me for a loop when I forgot her name, but the same lady who was in Captain America: Winter Soldier, who recruited U.S. agent, like came in and says,
Vicky, Valentina, not Vicky, it's Valentina something.
Yeah, and like she basically plants the bug in the air, like, do you want a shot at Hawkeye? Like he's responsible for killing her.
I didn't like that either.
So we also, and we got, well, that's a segue, and we also got today, Deadpool's officially joining the MCU.
Yeah.
So where are we going? Where are they taking us?
He's gonna be in Deadpool 3. I think it was just like Deadpool 3 is gonna be an MCU movie instead of going.
I'm getting Secret Empire vibes. I'm getting heavy on the Secret Empire vibes,
I just want to see
which Deadpool is a part of that story as well.
I want to see some decent X-Men movies. I mean,
I'm just
as
ready
long as
for.
we get some
X-Men.
decent X-Men movies out of this, I'm okay.
Some of the X-Men are a part of that as well, but I'm piecing this together from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision. I haven't finished Loki, but I hear the last episode aired today, so I'm going to binge through Loki over the next weekend, I guess, or something like that definitely before our next episode. But if what's being pieced together is true, I think they're setting us up for a Secret Empire, and I think What If is going to be the means to further elaborate or establish that they can bring back and utilize characters as they need at any time. Because I think we're going to get a Kang cameo in Loki. I haven't seen anything. Yeah, I think Kang is going to.
I think he's going to be in Eternals. I think.
Yeah, that too. But I'm saying from which I had to shy away from social media today to not spoil it for myself. But I think he's popping up in Loki somewhere. Maybe. Don't hold me to that, audience. I'm not sure. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so since we're talking about Marvel and I want to talk about a few TV shows or whatnot that may segue into this. I know you mentioned Loki. Does the ending of Black Widow affect the Hawkeye TV show that's going to come out? Because I mean, and like, what about what do you guys think about we're going to see in Marvel What If? Like, I know it's an animation or whatnot. How do you all feel about that?
I think they're going to, from What If, just try to fill some holes. So like, even like, who's going to be the next T'Challa? Like, who's going to be the next Black Panther? Since they have no other choice but to recast, or maybe pick somebody else. Like maybe go with Shuri. So they're gonna test out stuff like that and see how it fits in the story. That's what I think they're gonna do with it.
I think what if kind of is going to serve a little bit of dual purpose. One, probably some retconning and loose end tie-ups, right? Bridging of gaps, but also an expansion of the multiverse. I think we've seen them do a good job at establishing and building that whole thing out, extended MCU, if you will. And like I said, sticking to this Secret Empire thing, there's a lot that this Phase 4 is going to open up into. And they're going to be able to use all of these characters. Because I think if we're really going Secret Empire, yeah, they're going to have to recast T'Challa. There's parts of that story that are, he's significant. Deadpool the same. Some Inhumans with Eternals and et cetera. Like all of this is coming together very beautifully, so to speak. But I think What If's going to serve the purpose mostly to just bridge the gaps and keep people in the loop on what's happening. If you haven't, for everybody who doesn't have Disney Plus, et cetera, stuff like that, or if you're lagging behind on the shows. I'm kind of curious when you said Hawkeye though, I know Ironheart's getting the show, right? Mm-hmm. Is Hawkeye going to be better served, that story being told through the series, or do you think they're going to find a way to make that relevant? Because I'm in the movies, because I love Jeremy Renner, but are we getting like a Hawkeye movie?
I don't want to see a Hawkeye movie.
We're not. I don't think we're not getting a Hawkeye movie. I think we're just getting a Hawkeye TV series, which I think is much better suited.
I don't know, man. I'm over the Archers after Arrow. 8 seasons of Arrow was really good. I was fine. I'm gonna watch Hawkeye, but I'm over Archers in general. Like the whole idea of a guy with a bow and arrow and all this is just like.
Well, I'll put it this way. You said 8 seasons of Arrow was good. I'll give you 5.5 seasons of Arrow was good. So
not good. I meant Arrow was. I was good on that. After 8 seasons, I was fine on Archers. I didn't dislike Arrow. What saved it the seasons that kind of slacked, which there were definitely some. The crossover events kept me engaged. Yeah. Those DC crossovers were solid.
No, the crossovers were solid, but CW has a ceiling. I think, man, outside of maybe Smallville, which is, in my opinion, top 5 superhero TV shows like ever. That's just me.
Word.
I'm like it. A lot of CW like DC superhero shows come with a certain cheesiness, Maybe that's just me.
CW, before it was CW, what was it?
WB.
Oh yeah, it was
Seventh Heaven, Dawson's Creek, all that?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, so I got a question. All right, Banks.
What's up?
I know a lot of people, and it's not their fault. I don't blame them. I'm not throwing shade at anybody who feels this way. People who aren't familiar with comics, familiar with superhero movies and like how they work in like theaters and whatnot. A lot of people feel like they don't need to like recast T'Challa's character like in the MCU in the next like Black Panther movie. I know me personally, I think that's a horrible idea, but how would you go about explaining? Well, first off, how do you feel about that?
I think they should recast. I mean, I love Chadwick Boseman, but for the sake of the movie, if you want the movie to, really go from, reach off the last movie, you kind of got to, because a lot of stuff didn't get answered. A lot of stuff, like he had just got introduced really into the MCU. So like, if you just, kill him off and then start running off with a new character as Black Panther, it's a lot of stuff that from the last movie that doesn't get answered. So it's like you lose continuity.
Yes, and I'll ask this to you, Will. I know a lot of people are emotional about this. How would you best explain? Like, let's say if I don't know, Henry Cavill is a decent Superman. Like if Henry Cavill were to die off, like how like explain it to where like you wouldn't kill off Superman, right? Like so like explain that to like people who aren't familiar with like comic books and like how movies work with superheroes or whatnot, and where Banks and like people like myself and I don't even know how you feel about like where we're coming from, like on like the recasting and like it's not.
This is
like,
my honest take on it, and I haven't posted this anywhere on any social media platform because I don't even want to explain it to people. Marvel has not lost yet in theaters, so I trust whatever the studio is going to do with it. That's 100% where I'm at. I know Ryan Coogler had a vision for this as he was doing these movies laid out, and I wasn't disappointed with the first one. And they certainly know more about putting out billion-dollar box office grossing movies than I do. So I trust whatever the hell they decide to run with because they're getting my money. Regardless. I mean, seriously, that's at the end of the day, recast or not, I'm going to go see Wakanda Forever. You know what I mean? When the recast comes, I'm going to go see that third one.
Okay, so this is how I feel. I feel as though I don't think...
But let me... Not to put a point on that, because I don't want to end it like it's like I'm just that nonchalant. With respect to the cast and people who personally knew Mr. Boseman and worked with him, I feel like they're treating that the way they should and moving according to like, that's when you work with people like that for that amount of time, that's kind of a family vibe. So I think whatever that they decide to do collectively is what it's going to be. And I'm fine with however they call that. Yeah.
Yeah. How I feel as though, I mean, in all honesty, number one, how I feel is black people don't get a lot of superheroes like in theaters in that box office type of setting or whatnot, especially ones that are like extremely 100% like positive or whatnot. And to me, it almost seems like a way. Almost a respectable way to kill off a positive black like male role model, like for young kids to look up to. And I hear a lot of people say, well, you can just give it to Shuri or whatnot. Well, the movie version of her, that's not her role. I mean, not necessarily her role, but that's not her look like in the MCU. Like I understand where the comics like take her, but like the movies and the comics, they're not the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we have no idea where they were going to take her character anyway, though.
Yeah, we don't.
And I will note. Go ahead, Vaughn, because I want to note point something else.
We don't have an idea what they could do, but as far as like the first movie and then like Endgame, like they really did set her up to be Black Panther.
Mind you, they kind of did a mashup on a lot of that whole Infinity story. We got borrowed concepts like the whole fight when Thanos is sent his minions down to Wakanda. Yeah, that's from Infinity. Yeah, but that's from Infinity. That's a story that involves Thanos, the Avengers, Illuminati, but that's much longer down the road from Infinity Gauntlet. But they're pulling a lot of different elements from great stories and kind of putting them together to establish the MCU. So they didn't leave Shuri completely helpless.
They didn't leave her.
They set her up, but we do know that they weren't trying to,
Yeah,
I don't think she was like set
from the times that we've seen her, they haven't set her up to be Black Panther. Like they made, because like in the comics, she actually does become Black Panther when T'Challa dies and goes to hell and tries to kill off Mephisto. In the Infinity fight, he's currently the king of Necropolis or something like that. He's not even the Black Panther in that Infinity fight that's going on that we see depicted in movies. In the comic, that storyline, he's not even the reigning Black Panther. He is the king of the Necropolis. Shuri's running Wakanda,
But hold on, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought he doesn't die. I thought he just, in that fight with Namor, doesn't he just go into a coma and wake back up?
I thought he died in one of them.
I thought he was just in a coma.
The king, I need to read up on the events that led up to him becoming the king of the Necropolis and the shadow physics and all that, because there was a whole story before that with the Wakanda Atlantean War, something. Because the reason that he's not in Wakanda, he's kind of in exile, is because of a decision he made during that war. But I'll save that and table that for when we actually do the Black Panther episode that's coming. Yeah. It's real special for y'all. But we are going to do an episode dedicated to Mr. Boseman and the representation and all that.
Yeah.
But what do you think about where they're going with this next movie, Carl?
I'm not too sure where they're going, but like I've said before, not to be like a broken record or whatnot, but I think if you want to have like real success or whatnot, you can't kill off T'Challa. T'Challa is the most infamous Black Panther like that there ever was, and with him, like you kill off the ability to do like Black Panther and Storm. Like you stop like all these like storylines like you were talking about. Like no disrespect, no disrespect. Like I'm not saying that like Black Panther can't be a woman because Shuri like does take the title or whatnot, but why does T'Challa have to die for that to happen? Why can't she get a suit and he can still be Black Panther? I mean, like what? I think there's room for the both of them or whatnot. So I mean, I don't see the logic in killing off the character in any point. Like, I mean, I understand that he passed away, but why don't you make it like, not to say like this character is on equal footing like with T'Challa or whatnot, but why don't you make it almost like Batman, where it's a privilege to wear the suit or whatnot? It's an honor. Like when you hear somebody is playing Batman or Superman, you're like, oh shoot, like they're doing what? Like, hey, that's a
not Batman. That's not Batman right there. It ain't. I know. I get what you're saying, because like when people get picked for Batman, no, not him.
But here's the thing: the reason we do that is because Batman became very commercialized and saturated early on, after Tim Burton left. And Joel Schumacher was putting them out, pumping them out. That type of saturation is what very much led to the demise of superhero movies for a while, where people just like, yeah, it's not worth the money. You know what I mean? And so, again, I'll trust the studio. Whatever Marvel decides to do, I'm going to support that because I'm going to go see it regardless. But I feel like if we're indeed going the direction I think that they're going with that, you can't not have Black Panther. So there's definitely going to be, he's there. He's included. How they do that, I'm not too messed up, either way. But
well, go ahead, Banks. You got something to say?
I was just saying we got a commercial break in 10 minutes. So
actually, we're gonna have to put a stamp in it on that one, because this 40-minute thing is killing us, the flow tonight. But in 10 minutes, is there anything else we want to tomorrow world? Oh no, the MCU. Did y'all watch the Deadpool MCU confirmation today?
Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't.
Carl, did you watch it?
I didn't get to see it.
Quite funny.
I sent you a link, bro. You all you had to do was click it.
I didn't know that's what that was.
You ain't no nerd. Shut up.
I ain't no
nerd.
Yeah,
so it's official. Deadpool is entering the MCU. There was a 5-6 minute clip, Vaughn, where he sat on the couch with Korg from Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok, and they watched the preview for his movie, and there was some comedic banter in between, and at the end, we pretty much get the open nod that Deadpool's coming. Check your email, or you might get something from your agent saying Marvel wants to talk. So it was well executed. Yeah, it was well executed, but that's a huge walk back from what didn't Feige, is he on record saying that there would never be an R-rated movie in the MCU?
Yeah, he did say that. He said he doesn't want to make R-rated movies. So yeah, he said that.
Okay. I got 2 questions before we get out of here or whatnot, but I know last week we talked a lot about anime. I want our platform to be open to like people who've been watching anime for 20 plus years, and some people who may be interested but don't know where to start. And we talked about a lot of shows. So depending on like, if just in general, if somebody wanted to start to get into anime, they were just interested, but they didn't know where to start, where would you turn them?
I'm gonna make it quick. I would turn them to something that's not episodic. So I would go with something like I don't know, I would go with Champloo. I would go with Mushishi. And then like you can watch the Juni Ito collection too, because it's not episodic, so you can pick it up any part in the series if you wanted to.
So Samurai Champloo,
Mushishi, and Juni Ito collection. So it's like a horror anime, but if you're into that type of stuff, if you're into horror, you'll like it. But yeah, it's not episodic, so you don't have to watch every episode to get what's going on. You can just pick what episode you want to watch.
What about you, Will?
I don't know. I'll probably start with some of the OGs that I got put on. Like, I think I watch Ninja Scroll every now and then periodically. Still holds up. I do Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. I start with some more modern stuff. I get some Castlevania up in there, and probably one of my more favorite one-offs, High School of the Dead, because just from the jump, that show really started off like it was really good. Like, it was just like right for the door. You're like, oh shit, zombie apocalypse in high school. Oh no. And if I'm wanting to introduce somebody and like get them hooked, like, yeah, that's a good start. Just disappointment. The story's not gonna finish, dude, but it's a good solid first watch.
Yeah, if you like suspense and like drama or whatnot and like a little bit of mystery, I would definitely send somebody to Death Note or even Erased. If you like horror.
Erased. What's that about? Erased. I keep seeing that.
Gotta watch it.
So Erased is about
don't tell
Erased
them. Make them watch it.
I mean, I'll watch it, but just give me an overview. Like, what's that?
Okay. So a quick overview.
Shut up, Mom.
A kid / grown man is able to go back in time and rewind the clock to the point where he was a kid, to the point where some of his classmates are abducted and murdered, and like he's able to affect the timeline each time in a different way. But like every so often or whatnot, he's able to make certain subtle changes. But like every time he goes back, it's like a different person, or sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's a little better.
Butterfly effects, stuff like that.
It's kind of like that. But he eventually cracks it of who's doing the actual killing or whatnot, and like in the process, like the killer like picks him up, like and like I won't tell you what happens, but
yeah, I asked for a synopsis. You just kind of told the whole thing, but that's cool.
Yeah, just go watch it. Never known this video, Mike.
Dang, Carl. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that. That sounds a lot like Tokyo Revengers minus the murdery child abducting part. But Tokyo Revengers is on Crunchyroll right now, and this kid, he's like, it starts, he realizes he's a loser. He's like 25, didn't accomplish anything, and he sees the girl he dated in middle school, and he thinks that's supposed to be like a sign, and she ends up, you know, dead in a unfortunate circumstance, but he realized through that he can go back in time, so he's kind of piecing together the events that lead to her death, and he's trying to change things, so, and save everybody really, but it's a good little show. What the hell are you doing, fool? Was you just cranking that Soldier Boy?
No, I was actually doing Carlton.
I didn't see you. I just saw you down. I was just like, what's your brother do? Okay, that's that Red Bull kicking in. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to draw. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. That's our show tonight. We'll be uploading videos pretty soon. So
what platforms, Vaughn? Where can they catch the episodes?
We're gonna put it on Anchor. We're gonna put it on YouTube. We're gonna put it on Spotify. You know, we might even put it on SoundCloud. You know,
does Prism Black have some channels on those exclusively that they need to follow?
You can follow us on Anchor at Prism Black. You can follow us on YouTube, Prism Black. You can follow us on
Prism Black.
Prism Black.
Everywhere you look, you see Prism Black, bro. That's what it is all day, every day. PB gang.
Yeah. So
yo, them ats. It's your boy Murphy's Law 615. That's IG. Don't follow me though. Banks.
You know me, Banks himself. You can follow me. Please do. And donations, gifts and donations.
Donations.
Gifts and donations.
Gifts.
I have nothing to say after that foolery.
No gifts, Carl. No donations. You don't need any gifts, brother.
Drop the Cash App for the gifts and donations.
Yo, Carl's so disapproving, bro. Yo, good episode tonight, fellas. And don't forget, y'all can pick up some of that hot Prism Black merch exclusively at prismblack.com. We have that domain now, don't we, Vaughn?
Yeah, it's
prismblack.com. That's live. Yeah, so you'll be able to get gear, hottest merch. You'll be able to pick up some of the literature that we're putting out. Jet Grind mix up, find the finest of the most creative literature out. And Revenge series, my personal favorite that we've been working on, man's been putting in time on that, dog. So we got some hot stuff coming for y'all, some really exciting things. Next week, y'all, what we hitting them with? Because we never did a Justice League breakdown, did we?
I think
and we need to do a versus. We got some.
Doing,
I think
tomorrow War.
I think it would a good next episode would be versus. We can include Tomorrow War in that. I've got some great ideas, but I think a versus episode would be good for next episode.
All right, so we're gonna pick two characters and pit them against each other and see what y'all's take on that. Tomorrow War, if you haven't seen that, that's streaming on Amazon Prime.
How about we each pick 3 characters and then
a triple,
and then we battle each other with our
Marvel DC.
We can do. Hey, we do it.
No, because somebody could pick like let's pick a genre. No, let's pick a genre and stick to the characters in that genre and do that. But three's fine. Three's lovely. And yeah, Justice League. We need to get into that at some point. Maybe we can save that one for later. But I don't think anybody ever really broke down that 4-hour Snyder cut. That all that was missing was diversity.
Movie still sucked.
And representation. Go figure.
4 hours of ass. That's what that was.
And all he did was take out I think it was definitely better than the theater, and not to get into it, but it goes to show you, wow, you just removed the black people. It was the studio did, and it's a completely different movie when you put the diversity back in that. Like
4 hour ass.
You didn't like the 4? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan.
I don't think it changed the movie. Good. I don't think it changed the movie from dud to good. It was just a polished dud. Like it wasn't
hot takes. Yeah, we're gonna have to dive into that on the next show.